All right, let's talk Macbeth. If you're getting ready for your exams, you know Act 3 is a massive deal. I mean, this is it. This is the point of no return, where our tragic hero, Macbeth, goes full-on tyrant. There's no turning back after this. So let's dive in and really get to grips with this pivotal act.
Okay, so this quote right here, it basically sums up the entire act. Macbeth is king, he's got what he wanted, but he's saying being king is nothing unless I'm safely king. This isn't just him being a bit worried about politics. Oh no, this is the start of his mind completely unraveling. It's this deep, gnawing paranoia that's going to fuel every single terrible thing he does from now on.
So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at the king's fearful reign. Then we'll get into the scorpions in the mind. What a line. After that, the infamous ghost at the feast. Then, blood will have blood. And finally, we'll see how the whole kingdom is put in peril. Let's get to it.
Okay, kicking things off with scene 1, a king's fearful reign. We're in the palace, and you'd think there'd be parties, right? Nope. The mood is tense because Macbeth is already zeroing in on his next big problem, his old friend, Banquo.
So yeah, why isn't he happy? He's the king. But here's the thing. It all comes back to the witch's prophecy. Remember what they said? Macbeth gets to be king, but it's Banquo's kids who will be kings after him. So for Macbeth, it feels like he's done all this terrible stuff for nothing. He calls his crown fruitless because his own children won't inherit it. Every time he looks at Banquo and his son Fleance, it's just a bitter reminder that he sold his soul for someone else's family line.
And this word, tyranny, is absolutely crucial for your exams. This is exactly what Macbeth's reign is turning into. He's not a king ruling for the good of Scotland anymore. He's a tyrant, ruling through fear, getting rid of anyone who looks like a threat. And this plot to murder Banquo? Well, that's his first big, horrifying step into becoming a true tyrant.
Now look at how he gets his hands dirty, or rather, how he doesn't. He doesn't kill Banquo himself. No, he hires a couple of murderers. But watch how he does it. First, he reminds them how miserable their lives are. Then, he completely gaslights them, saying, "You know who's to blame for all your problems? Banquo." And then, for the final push, he questions their manhood, their courage. Sound familiar? He's using the exact same tactics Lady Macbeth used on him. It's an absolutely chilling piece of manipulation. All right, next up, we're in scene 2, Scorpions in the Mind. This scene gives us a peek behind the curtain, a private conversation between Macbeth and Lady Macbeth. And honestly, it shows us just how much their crimes are costing them and how far apart they're starting to drift.
I mean, what an incredible metaphor, right? He's saying that killing Duncan didn't actually fix the problem. They've only scorched the snake, not killed it. The snake is any threat to his throne. He's terrified that it's just going to heal up and come back to bite him. It perfectly captures his paranoia. The job is never, ever done. And then he hits us with this line. Wow. Full of scorpions is my mind. Just picture that. It's not just anxiety, it's pure agony. These poisonous, stinging thoughts, specifically about Banquo and Fleance, are crawling around in his head, torturing him from the inside out. It's one of the clearest signs we get that his mental state is just collapsing.
Okay, this is a major turning point in the relationship. Remember how they were this unstoppable power couple in Acts 1 and 2? Well, that's over. He's completely shutting her out now. He even uses this weirdly patronizing pet name, Dearest Chuck, while telling her to just stay ignorant until his dirty work is done. They are no longer partners in crime. He is acting alone, isolated by his own paranoia. And all of this leads us to the absolute climax of Act 3, the ghost at the feast. First, we see the murder itself, and then we get the banquet scene. This is where all of Macbeth's private demons burst out into the open for everyone to see. So the ambush goes down, the murderers attack, Banquo is killed, and his last words are just him screaming for his son to escape. And here's the kicker. Fleance gets away. He disappears into the night. This is a disaster for Macbeth. The prophecy is still alive. The one person who could threaten his crown is still out there. The snake is definitely not dead. This is where we get a front row seat to Macbeth's complete break from reality. I mean, think about it. This banquet should be his moment of triumph, but instead, his guilt literally comes to life. So, while all the lords see a perfectly normal feast, maybe wondering why the king is acting so strangely, Macbeth sees the bloody ghost of Banquo sitting right in his own chair. It's a terrifying public spectacle of his private guilt. And he starts yelling at nothing. To everyone else, he's shouting at an empty chair.
but he's talking directly to Banquo's ghost. And in his panic, he basically confesses. Sure, he's technically correct. He didn't swing the sword himself. But his words pretty much scream, I'm guilty. Can you imagine what the lords are thinking? Their new king has completely lost it. Meanwhile, Lady Macbeth is in full-on damage control mode. She's scrambling, telling everyone, oh, don't worry, he's been like this since he was a kid, but it's useless. Her power over him is completely gone. She can't calm him down, she can't stop him. The man she created is now a monster she can't control. All she can do is kick everyone out, ending the party in total chaos. It's a complete disaster. So the party's over. The guests are gone, and they're left in the wreckage. Macbeth knows he's been exposed. It's in this moment that he makes a decision that seals his fate. This is the point of no return. And here it is. This is arguably one of the most important quotes in the entire play. He pictures himself standing in a river of blood. He's waded in so far that trying to go back to the shore would be just as hard and messy as just continuing on to the other side. So what does he decide? To keep going, to wade even deeper into the river of blood. Seriously, if you're writing an essay on Macbeth's downfall, this is your moment, right here. His reason for killing isn't ambition anymore. It's this dark, twisted logic that the only way to secure his safety is through more violence. And his next move? He decides he's going back to the source of all this trouble, the witches. Okay, so for our last part, the play zooms out. It's not just about Macbeth's mind anymore. We start to see how his tyranny is affecting all of Scotland and how people are starting to push back. So by the end of Act 3, the tide is definitely turning. You've got Hecate, the queen of the witches, plotting to mess with Macbeth's head. You've got the Scottish lords whispering and then saying out loud that their king is a tyrant. And most importantly, Macduff, a name you really need to remember, has fled to England to find Malcolm and build an army. The resistance is officially starting to form. Which leaves us with this final question to think about. He did it. He got everything he wanted. He's the most powerful man in Scotland. Or is he? Is he powerful, or is he actually the most trapped person in the entire kingdom? He's a prisoner of his own fear, haunted by ghosts, and now the whole world is starting to line up against him. It's something really worth thinking about for your revision. Is that crown a symbol of his power, or is it just a cage?